Scrooge was a mean, old miserable who didn't care for anyone or anything except for money. Sounds like our current president. He dislikes everything. Most of all, he hated Christmas. When someone would wish him a Merry Christmas, he would grumble, "Bah, humbug." Poor Bob Cratchit was working late for Scrooge. Yet again, he very much wanted to go home to his family. After all, it was Christmas Eve. Finally, old Scrooge allowed Cratchit to leave. "Would you like to spend Christmas with my family?" he asked. "Nonsense. Christmas. Bah, humbug. Now leave me alone. I have work to do," Scrooge answered. Later that night, Mr. Scrooge went home to his dark house. As he got to the door, the knocker appeared to turn into a face of his partner, Jacob Marley, who died years ago. Frightened, Scrooge hurried inside and went straight to his bedroom. He changed into his nightshirt and crawled into bed. "Ebenezer Scrooge!" a voice cried out in the dark. Suddenly a ghost appeared, covering in locks and chains. "Marley, why do you want to haunt me?" said Scrooge, shaking with fright. "To save you from yourself, Ebenezer," the ghost cried. "Tonight you'll be visited by 3 spirits who will show you the true meaning of Christmas." "Ghosts and spirits indeed," growled Scrooge as he drifted off to sleep. As the clock struck 1 o'clock a.m., the first of 3 spirits appeared. "Ebenezer Scrooge," a voice called. "I'm the ghost of Christmas past. Come with me." "Where are we going?" asked Scrooge. "Have you forgotten your childhood, Ebenezer?" asked the spirit. "Why, this is my old schoolhouse," Scrooge said with surprise. "Yes, Ebenezer. That little child sitting alone is you. Many a Christmas you spent alone with friends or family," said the spirit. "Money became your only joy and love." Scrooge saw himself as a young man again. Besides him was a woman. Her name was Belle. "I have forgotten how beautiful she was," Scrooge sighed. "You were to marry her, remember?" asked the spirit. "But gold was more important to you than Belle." "No. Spirit, take me away. Forgive me, Belle," cried Scrooge. Belle moved on. When Scrooge looked up, he was back in his room and the spirit was gone. "Ebenezer Scrooge!" called a voice. "Come closer," the spirit roared. "I am the ghost of Christmas present. Come with me. You have a great deal to learn tonight." "Whose little house this is?" asked Scrooge. "This is the house of your clerk, Bob Cratchit," answered the spirit. The spirit pointed to the door. In the doorway was Bob, with his son, Tiny Tim, upon his shoulder. "Merry Christmas," Bob called to his family as he hugged his wife. "And how's Tiny Tim?" asked Bob. "I believe he's getting stronger every day." "Well, of course he is," Mrs. Cratchit said, holding back a tear as Tiny Tim hobbled to his stool. "I didn't know the child was sick," Scrooge said. "Would you have cared, Ebenezer?" asked the spirit. "Spirit," said Scrooge, "tell me, will Tiny Tim live?" "I see an empty stool and a crutch in his corner. These shadows remain unchanged. Eventually, the child would die." "No, Spirit," Scrooge begged. "Don't let this boy die. It is not by my kindness that he will live, but by yours, Ebenezer, if you truly care." "Come now," said the spirit. Scrooge traveled with the spirit and see many families, both rich and poor, to see the love and joy of Christmas that night. "Before you leave, tell me, spirit, what is that I see moving beneath your robe?" asked Scrooge. The spirit opened his robe, and clinging to his legs were two small children, a small, ragged boy, and a forlorn little girl. "Are they yours, spirit?" Scrooge asked. "This boy is ignorance. This girl is want. Beware them both," the spirit said sadly, then disappeared. Scrooge stood shivering in the new fallen snow. He turned to find himself before a dark and gloomy spirit. "Are you the ghost of Christmas yet to come?" asked Scrooge. Well, the spirit said nothing, but he nodded in reply. The spirit fixed his eyes upon Scrooge, then pointed a bony finger towards the mist. "Lead on, spirit," moaned Scrooge. The spirit said nothing. Scrooge then saw what he dreaded the most: the empty stool and the little crutch of Tiny Tim. The spirit said, "No! Tell me it isn't so." Scrooge began to weep. As he raised his head, he found he was in the graveyard. The spirit was pointing to the tombstone. Scrooge drew closer to the grave. There on the headstone was his name: Ebenezer Scrooge. "I'll be a better man," said Scrooge. "Please, no." Scrooge suddenly awoke on Christmas morning to find himself back in his own bed. The spirits had done their work in one night. In one night. Excitedly, Scrooge ran into the window and threw open the shutters, screaming out, "Merry Christmas!" Then, as he spotted a passing boy, he called, "Boy! Hurry up! Go down the street and buy the biggest turkey that hangs in the butcher shop and take it to Bob Cratchit's house. Toss a large bag of coins down to the boy. Friends are worth more than all the gold in the world," he said. From now on, he made sure that Bob Cratchit and his family had all the good food and warm clothes that they needed. After that night, Scrooge became a better man and kept the Christmas spirit alive. I wonder, in the story I read, would you keep the Christmas story alive?